Hey, it's your girl here, Anika Stewart, and you are listening to the Choose to Live blog talk. And I'm super excited about today's topic. I want to talk to you about transitioning with grace. Life is all about experiences, and life is all about transitioning. So we are always in the movement of transitioning from one space to another, from one experience to another. And those experiences, some of them they cause happiness. We're super excited. But then other times, those experiences can cause some great discomfort. It can cause you to be sad. It can cause you to be depressed, um, full of anxiety. And so I simply want to talk about transitioning with grace. In whatever situation that you're facing, I believe that it's important for you to have your moment, right? But don't stay there. So, those of you that are new to me, welcome. Again, I'm Anika Stewart, and you are tuning in with me on the Choose to Live blog talk. And I'm a business strategist coach. I'm a two-time best-selling author. I am um, a certified Christian life coach. There's so many things that I do. I'm a radio host. So I'm super excited to be providing you practical tips because that's one of the things that I do. I work with men and women, and I help them to take their vision, take the dream, and turn it into reality. I help them to get into a position to propel, launch, and execute the vision with strategies, solutions that create success, right? Doesn't that sound great? So, thank you for being a part of our blog talk. And we're going to be talking about transitioning with grace. So, let's get right into it. I want to talk about transitioning with grace because it doesn't matter the situation that you are facing in this moment, even if you are in a state of chaos, you're just tired. You know, there's a saying out there that I'm just tired of being tired. And let me just tell you that I have experienced that a time or two in my life. And here's what I say to that. It's okay to have your moment. It's okay to have your moment, but do not stay there. What does that really mean? I am a firm believer that it's okay to release those emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's fear or doubt, whatever the emotion is that can trickle into you becoming bitter, resentful, any emotion that can trickle into leading you to stay in that emotion and it just gets worse. I don't encourage that. What I encourage is you to have that moment, right? Whatever it is, don't stay there. Give yourself permission to release it and let it go. Understanding that when you stay in those states emotionally and mentally, it's draining. And what happens is it causes you to stay in that state longer than what's intended. So that's why other emotions are able to build up. Because angry, bitterness, and resentfulness are three different emotions. But I'm here to tell you that it all starts with anger. You was angry, then that anger turned into bitterness. That bitterness turned into resentment. So have your moment, but do not stay there. Release it and let it go. What does that look like? If you need to vent, if you need to cry, if you just need to scream, yell, shout it out, get it out, release it. That's why it's healthy for you to release what you're feeling. It's okay. And so when we talk about transitioning with grace, that's the top thing that I encourage all of my clients to do. In the moments of frustration, in the moments of being overwhelmed, have your moment, but do not stay there. This will literally change your life because you will give yourself permission to express and feel what you're feeling without shame, without regret, without guilt, and then move on. But when you have those barriers there, you don't move on because it's a trickle effect. So, how to transition with grace. Number one, that's a freebie. Have your moment, but don't stay there. So, I'm going to give you 5 tips. Okay, I have my notes. If you see me looking over, I'm going to give you 5 tips. So, let's get right into it. Transitioning with grace. Grace is an acronym for me. All right, and I'm going to break down each letter of this word. Okay, grace, transitioning. Give yourself permission to have grace with your journey, with your experiences. Understanding that you are on a journey, you are going through an experience called life, and you have the ability to control how you transition with each experience that you encounter. Hear me very clearly. You have that ability, you have that power to control it. So give yourself permission to have grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. We are our worst critics. We are so hard on ourselves. If you make a mistake, if you fall short, if you didn't succeed in the goal and what you were attempting to accomplish, give yourself grace. Let yourself know that it's okay. It's okay. Right? So grace is my first point. I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to be courteous to yourself. Take the pressure off. Take the limits off. Have fun with your dream. Have fun with your purpose. Have fun what you've been called to do. So that's point number one. Grace is what stands for G. Give yourself permission to be kind and courteous to yourself, understanding that you are on a journey and an experience, and it doesn't have to be frustrating all the time. Right? And so R. R stands for respect. R stands for respect. Respect yourself. And here's what I want to say in regards to respect. Respect is a choice. So how you show up, how you talk to yourself or about yourself is very important, because you are presenting to other people on how they should treat you, how they should handle you. Should they be delicate? Should they be aggressive and assertive? You show people how to treat you. So everything, it begins and it ends with you. Everything begins and it ends with you. Your happiness, your peace, your confidence, love, everything. So you have to begin to be in a position to respect yourself, understanding that respect is a choice. Respect yourself. Respect yourself enough to understand that it's just all about you making improvements to be better and do better. Understanding that it's about making improvement, not excuses. Respect yourself, because it's easy to make excuses. Excuses are going to always be present. Respect yourself enough to be honest about any situation that you are facing, and give yourself permission to explore each situation. Explore the options in that. Don't just be so quick to give up and give in. Respect yourself. It's about improvement. So we want more improvement and not excuses. So G stands for grace, R stands for respect, and A stands for attitude. How to transition with grace? Your attitude is so important. Your attitude consists of what you speak, how you take action, and your behaviors. It's really all about your patterns and your habits. So you got to be intentional about creating healthy habits, healthy boundaries. That all ties into your attitude, because when you don't have healthy habits and patterns in your life, they show up in your behavior, they show up in your language that you speak, they show up in your circle. Your attitude is so important when you transition with any situation, not just the good, but the bad. We got to transition with grace. And your attitude is a choice. Your attitude is a reflection of who you really are. Your attitude. Is a reflection of who you really are and what you represent. So I want you to start being mindful of what you speak in the atmosphere. I want you to be mindful of how you speak about yourself, to yourself, about others. So your attitude is important, and I want you to know that your attitude has everything to do with how you transition, because our mouthpiece is very valuable. What you speak is how you live. What you speak is how you live. That ties into your attitude. Do you want to have a stank attitude today, or do you want to have a positive attitude today? Do you want to stay in that state of having a negative outlook on every situation about everybody, or do you want to gain a different perspective and insight? Do you want to be enlightened or not? Attitude. C stands for confidence. Everything begins and it ends with you, influencer, and at the end of the day, your confidence is essential to you transitioning with grace. Your confidence is essential to you transitioning with grace. Even when you have a moment, don't beat yourself up about it. You're still enough. You're still worth it. You're still the bomb.com. Okay? And you still choose to live. C stands for confidence. It's essential and it's needed. E stands for expectations. Listen, I want you to know today that your expectations is what's going to drive you. So if you don't have expectations, if you don't have goals, then you don't go anywhere. You stay stuck. You stay complacent, and nothing is being created or accomplished in your life. But when you have clear expectations, in the next 6 months, I want to be able to write this book. And within the next 6 months, I want to work on my marketing and get it published. So expectations are about really specific goals, and they're measurable, they're obtainable. You have a plan of action that goes with every goal or intention that you have. So if you're saying to yourself, my world is upside down, I'm going to say to you, what are your expectations and how are you showing up to meet those expectations? Do you have a deadline? Are they specific? Are they measurable? Because if not, you're just going to go in cycles and circles, and nothing gets accomplished when you are going in cycles and circles. So what do you really expect from yourself? What do you really expect for your vision? Start there. What do you expect from yourself? And what do you expect for the vision that you have? The assignment that's on your life? Or do you even identify what your purpose is? You got to start there. So how do we transition with grace? We simply, we give ourselves permission to have grace. We're going to be kind and courteous to ourselves. We're not going to be so hard on ourselves. We're going to have our moment, but not stay there. Then we're going to have respect for who we are, where we are, and what's to come with our lives. We're going to respect ourselves. Respect starts with you first. And then A, you're going to have the right attitude. Understanding that it's not just about your attitude, it's about your patterns, your habits, everything that's linked to your attitude. And then C, we're going to maintain our confidence. And E, we're going to have clear expectations. That's how you can transition with grace, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the painful situation that you're going through. You can transition with grace in every area of your life. Health, wealth, finances, your career. You can transition in every area of your life with grace when you simply give yourself permission to utilize the grace. And be mindful of what you say, how you show up, creating boundaries and healthy habits. It will change your life. So here's what I want to leave you with. How will you avoid the behavior, the barrier that is prohibiting you from moving forward with grace? What is it that prohibits you from transitioning with grace? If you're honest with yourself, that's the thing that has to change. All right. So until next time, influencers, choose to live. It's your girl here, Anika Stewart, and you are tuning in to Choose to Live Blog Talk. Until next time.